What's up, YouTube? I was kind of bummed out. I wanted to try to do the go live on YouTube deal like you see these other guys doing, but it wouldn't let me. So I guess my channel ain't good enough yet to go live or whatnot. But what I wanted to talk about today was shippers and receivers. And I wanted to get feedback from other drivers on what they can do to make our job more enjoyable. But since I can't go live and I can't talk to everyone about that, I'm going to go ahead and talk about some of the things that I've seen at these shippers and receivers. So one thing that I've noticed when we go to these shippers and receivers, a lot of times they'll have signs up that say no public restrooms. And I don't think that's right for them to not allow us to use a restroom. When we're doing a job for them, we should be allowed to use their restroom. And then, of course, you guys know about the long wait times, where sometimes you'll be in a dock for 5, 6, 7 hours. I've had it as bad. I did a job out of Dallas, Texas at the Conn's warehouse. They do like furniture and appliances and stuff like that. And I was taking this load to Denver, Colorado. I was there, my appointment was at 7 o'clock at night. I got there way early. I was there probably about 3 o'clock that day. And 7 o'clock comes around and they still haven't started loading. So I go and check and they say, okay, hey, we're going to get to you. We know you're there. We'll get to you. At 11 o'clock at night, they come. They put 3 items on my trailer. And then they decided, well, I guess it's time to call it a day. They went home. I didn't get hardly any sleep because I'm keep running back and forth trying to figure out what's going on. Well, after 11 o'clock at night, I found out that the crew went home and they had loaded 3 items on my trailer, so there was no way I could just cancel the load and say forget it, just go to the truck stop and find a different load the next day or whatever. These guys didn't get me loaded until 11 a.m. the next day. So, actually, yeah, I think it was like 11 o'clock the next day. And then it took me 3 weeks to get any kind of detention from these people because they just kept fighting us on it. They kept me at their warehouse for 21 hours. I can't believe that's out of control. So, what can we do as a trucking community to change the way that these shippers and receivers are treating us? Because the way they're doing it now, it's really not working. I can understand maybe 2, 3, even 4 hours at the dock if they're really busy. But when you're spending 21 hours at a dock, that's a little bit out of control. The other thing is the bathroom situation. I think they should be required by law to supply us with an outhouse at the bare minimum. And I really wanted to go live because I wanted other drivers' feedback on this, but I'm unable to do that right now. Probably because I don't have enough subscribers, and so I guess there's requirements on how many subscribers you gotta have or something before you can go live. And I guess while I'm gonna go ahead and change the subject because I can't think of any other problems that I've really had other than the wait time and the no bathroom. If you guys have had other issues at the receivers that would be nice if we could address it, talk about it, leave a comment. So since I don't have anything else that I can think of on that subject, let's talk about safety. Because safety has lots of things to talk about. What kind of items do you think you should carry for safety as an over-the-road truck driver? Because there's a lot of different things that you need to carry in your truck to make sure that you're safe. Number one, we're not even going to say number one. I'm just going to go over some of the things that I think you should carry with you. Number one, you need to carry a hard hat, safety glasses, steel-toe boots, and a safety vest. Another item I think you should have in your truck at all times is a flashlight. By law, you're required to have triangles in your truck and a fire extinguisher. So those are a few things that you should have. Something else you should have in your truck is extra fuses. Also, don't forget to put in your truck, you need to always have water with you. And some emergency food. I was up in South Carolina one time when I was working with J.B. Hunt, and they closed the road down for 4 days. All I had was a half a gallon of water and just like a few little snacks. I was living off of the vending machine food for 4 days, and I had to ration a half a gallon of water for 4 days. Make sure you have water and food in your truck. That's really important for safety. Also, if you're going to drive in the mountains of Colorado, you're required by law to carry change from September to May. That's a $500 ticket if you don't have it. But I think you should have change in your truck and just leave them in there all the time. What else? You need to make sure you have plenty of warm clothing, jackets, gloves, beanies, plenty of blankets in your truck to keep you warm. And let's talk about some other things about safety. When you get in and out of your truck, you need to go out backwards, and you need to have 3 points of contact when you get out of your truck. I seen a guy the other day, he came out of the truck face first, like he's going to just go down some stairs, and when I was younger I did it too, but don't do that. Come out of your truck back first, okay? And keep 3 points of contact at all times, because that old guy that came out of that truck, he was probably in his 70s. I felt so bad for him. He came out feet first, slipped on the step, smacked his back right in the middle of the step, and he couldn't even get up off the ground. It messed him up really bad. I had to go help him up off the ground, and I believe he probably ended up going to the hospital, and he's probably out of work for a while now. So when you enter and exit your truck, use 3 points of contact at all times. It's extremely important. One slip on that step and it could end your career. Alright, so be careful getting in and out of the truck, and if someone is getting in your truck that's not familiar with the safety procedures of getting in and out of one of these semis, make sure you tell them how to get in and out. We don't want anyone getting hurt. We don't want our family members getting hurt getting in and out of these trucks, because they're not truck drivers. A lot of them don't know that there's a certain way that you need to enter and exit the truck. And so let's talk about some other things. When you're driving a semi, all right, please don't be riding 2 car lengths off the truck in front of you. That's the bypass. That means I get to go past the scale and I don't have to stop, which is awesome. But please don't be riding 2 car lengths off the semi in front of you. What happens if someone cuts them off and they have to slam on their brakes? What do you think's going to happen? You're gonna rear end that vehicle, and you might kill them, and you might end up spending some time in prison because you're too impatient that you got to ride all over that truck's butt or that car's butt in front of you, rather than just backing off and giving yourself plenty of room. Did you know a semi moves 1/10 of a mile like every 5 seconds? I don't know if that's right or not. Yeah, that's about right. If you're going 70 miles an hour, you go 1/10 of a mile in like 5 or 6 seconds. 1/10 of a mile is over 500 feet. So you're moving 500 feet in about 5 or 6 seconds. So the reason I say that is keep your eyes on the road. Don't be grabbing your phone, texting, getting on Facebook, playing your games, watching videos, none of that. Keep your eyes on the road, because that truck at 70 miles an hour, it moves a lot further than you realize. And if you take your eyes off the road for 5 or 6 seconds, you've already moved over 500 feet. So keep your feet on the floor, not on the dash. Wear proper shoes when you're driving too. But nobody needs to be driving down the road with their feet on the dash. You need to keep your feet on the floor so you can access the pedals. That's really important too. Another thing, when you're backing in a dock at a shipper or a receiver, you need to turn your hazards on, and before you back into that dock, you need to honk your horn. You also need to make sure there's nobody standing behind you. This guy just got killed last week. He was trying to guide this other truck into a door. Happened, I believe it was in New York. And the driver pinned the other guy in between another truck that was inside the building. So if you have a spotter, if you have someone back there spotting you, if you don't see them in your mirror, you need to stop that truck. Do not move. You will stop that truck until the person behind you is in your view of you. If they're out of your view, then you need to stop that truck immediately. There's a lot of different things that can end your career and possibly put you in prison in this line of work. Take it seriously. You know, you don't need to be pushing that semi 85 miles an hour. You need to obey the speed limit. Like, I see these guys doing it all the time, and I'll have lots of following distance, and what happened is these guys think I'm going too slow, even though I'm just trying to keep a safe following distance. And they'll come up around me going 75, 80 miles an hour, and they'll cut right in front of me just to find out that the truck in front of me is doing the same exact speed I'm doing. And that makes no sense to me at all. When these cars get on the highway, a lot of times they don't know how to step on the gas. For the four-wheelers out there and the truck drivers that may not know, when you get on the on-ramp, go. Step on the gas, go. Get up to speed. Don't make everyone else slow down to 40 miles an hour so you can get on the highway. That's just not right, you know, and it's super annoying. And listen, I'm going to talk about one other thing, and I'm sure this video is getting kind of long, so I'm going to mention one other thing about safety. Sideswipe collisions. How can you avoid a sideswipe collision? Well, the number one way to avoid a sideswipe collision is to stay in your own lane. And I know that you can't always stay in your own lane, but that is the number one way to avoid a sideswipe collision. You need to stay in your own lane. If you're unable to stay in your own lane, then you need to check your mirrors, and you need to make sure you allow enough time to make that lane change. Get over early. If your exit's coming up in 5 miles, then you should already be trying to get in the lane you're supposed to be in. And watch your mirrors. Watch your mirrors constantly. You need to watch your mirrors, and I struggle with that. I know I need to practice that a little more too. But as long as you know what's around you at all times, you can avoid a sideswipe collision. We're going to end it right there, and I'll talk to you all later. Thank you. Bye.